What up, everybody? We are back on elenyaR's. Let's talk about my pick'ems. Yeah, Sun played pretty abysmal. I had more faith in. I did talk about how Group B is like very unpredictable for me because like any of these teams could make it out, and I was right. I really had a lot more faith in RRQ, but then they just played disappointing in the match against MIBR, and I was just really sad to see because I think RRQ are still like are still getting caught on that hurdle. But MIBR played really well. Fnatic, I expected. PRX, I expected, though I was kind of, you know, hoping that they don't lose to GX because it was like 1-1 at some point. Honestly, I was very surprised about Liquid. What really put the nail in the coffin is they put Nats on Waylay and they tried a comp change that I just feel like didn't work out that well. Outside of that, I'm very surprised by DRX. EDG kind of expected. I mean, they're kind of like up and down all the time. And I think, if my memory serves me right, in some of their series, they were like at that final hurdle and then just couldn't close things out. NRG, I kind of expected to at least them make it out. Heretics surprised me a lot more just because I knew they were good, or at least they felt better heading into this, but I didn't think they'd be like amazing. G2, of course, I'm a G2 fan since the guard days. Got a little worried, but hey, they got the job done. T1 DRG, I expected. DRG without Vukashu, who I've watched before, and he's like a really good aimer and just really good sentinel player. Yeah, I didn't expect them to make it out too far. I think they could have won a series for sure, but like I was talking about, I think I talked about how like this is very flip-floppy. But yeah, I kind of expected this to, I kind of expected it to go like this, especially after day one when Giant X surpassed probably everyone's expectations. Cloud played a beautiful, Cloud called a beautiful game, and Aura and Afflictless played really well. But now it's time for the playoffs, right? We gotta make the pick'ems here. And honestly, I love this bracket, but I'm very depressed because PRX G2 is the first round matchup, and I have to pick between two teams I really like. Let's get through with like the go-aheads and probably what should be happening. And I think one of those things is just Fnatic making it through. They at least win this game, and Team Heretics making it through. I'm actually also gonna go Giant X too. I think these three matches are kind of like not necessarily givens, but like this is what I feel like. I think NRG can beat Giant X, but I think if people like Ada and Flickless show up like they did in their last match, then I think Giant X could totally pull off what everyone would think is an upset. I think Cloud's calling beautifully, and Aura and Flickless are playing so well. I think with Team Heretics, they just have overall really good players, and MIBR, I feel like they played a pretty weak group in my opinion. I think out of all the groups, their group was the most unpredictable, but also kind of like weak. There's not much competition after watching most of the games. I think Heretics have the ability as long as they actually show up. If they show up, Heretics win this. If they don't, MIBR is about to farm them. Because I think Verno is calling really well, and Ospas and, you know, everyone on MIBR is playing really well. Especially people like Cortezia and even Artsine. Fnatic DRX, I think this could also go either way, but I just believe in Fnatic a lot more. DRX are kind of spamming double duelists, and while I think that can definitely work, I just think Fnatic will perform better in general. Now, PRX G2 is tough for me because my heart tells me G2, my mind tells me PRX. PaperX played pretty well. I think the only thing that makes me think of G2 going over is like getting the right maps and winning anti-ecos. PRX obviously won Masters Toronto, and they're playing really well, especially with people like Mini helping them in the background, and like Alex and Panda being really good coaches, both performance and head coaching. G2, I think when I watched their last game, really found that they can play really good Valorant even with a nerfed Agent and Teo, and I think they look a lot more comfortable. That being said, I'm gonna trust my gut and go G2. I don't care if I'm wrong. I love both these teams. I just want to watch some good Valorant. I will go G2 for this. What I will say is I'm kind of sad because I have to watch either of them go through a lower bracket run, and any of the teams in the lower bracket can actually totally beat them. But what's a guarantee is I do think PRX will at least make a deep run in lowers and maybe even make it to grand finals. So don't like, no matter what, I will be choosing PRX throughout this entire run through at least. Fnatic G2, this is where I actually think Fnatic will win this. I think Fnatic are playing really well compared to G2, who are like winning somewhat close games, but if they have the right comp and they're playing the right game, I do think they just win. Heretics Giants, it's an EMEA matchup. I honestly, I kind of want to give it to Giant X just because I feel like they could pull the upset and they, you know, they perform really, really well. I'm gonna go GX. I might change this up too at the top right here because I think G2 can totally beat Fnatic. It's just I feel like at the moment Fnatic will beat G2 as like a one-off thing. Nope, I'll trust it myself. G2. I'll have G2 going to Grands. No matter what. I trust the teams I enjoy a lot and I just like watching. Let's go down here. MIBR NRG is an America's matchup. I actually think NRG should get this. I just don't think MIBR played amazing teams. All the teams in this bracket are amazing. The teams that MIBR have played were like, are obviously they're amazing because they made it the champs, but compared to the other matches I watched, those teams are really, really good. Outside of all the China teams, because they all got eliminated, disappointingly. I had a lot of faith in XLG and some faith in BLG and maybe in EDG. EDG couldn't close things out. BLG, I just don't think performed too well. And then DRG had a sub, so I can't blame them. XLG was like my hopeful, just because I think they are actually really, really good players. And overall, the team is just really, really good. Fnatic NRG, I want to say NRG. I really do. I just think it's Fnatic though. And obviously, the rest of the bracket is going to go the way I thought it would be, the way I think. Like PRX will just do a lower bracket run because they can. I think the only place they might get stopped is against Heretics and maybe against Fnatic. If they make it through these two, they beat Giant X. Do they make it to grand finals and win it all? I want to predict G2 just because I've been a fan since day one when they were in the guard, or when the core was on the guard and they made it to Reykjavik. And I've literally watched them struggle against like the chamber meta. Or was it post-chamber meta? I forgot. I know, yeah, chamber meta, when they had people like Jonah and Net and like Sai couldn't play chamber too well. I was in that. I was watching when they were doing that, okay? I have a lot of faith in these guys and I really want them to win something, but I just feel like they don't perform too well at the internationals outside of Bangkok. Yeah. The places where I think I could be so wrong is Heretics MIBR, Fnatic DRX, Fnatic G2. I think I can totally be wrong here. I could be wrong at any point. PaperX is playing as an EMEA team here. Very quick run through. There's not too much to talk about. I mean, I watched most of the group stage. It's not the entire group stage. I watched most of it, and some matches were pretty intense. They were pretty close. I think this is maybe one of the best champs outside of the venue they chose for the group stage. It just kind of looked really, really boring for like the group stage of the biggest Valorant tournament, and playoffs should be better. But yeah, champs pick'ems 2025 Paris. Next video, I have no idea. I'll be honest with you. It might be some scrap content. I might try to put something together that like I streamed like a while ago or something. Who knows? Maybe I'll post like a Valorant game or something. Next time, hopefully we'll do something a lot more entertaining than just like me talking about, you know, doing my pick'ems. I'll see you guys when I see you guys. I have no outro. I'll just like bye bye.